Man, it's almost Christmas and I don't know what to get everyone. I don't have much spending money, but there's gotta be a way to kill two birds with one stone. Oh my gosh, a hat. Whenever a new Sonic game is announced, there needs to be some sort of incentive to buy it. After all, quality isn't always guaranteed with these things, especially in our market. So people need some reassurance. And that reassurance is bought in the form of pre-orders. We all know the gist of pre-orders, right? You buy a game early, and as thanks you're given a Rubik's Cube. While the concept as a whole can be very hit or miss depending on the company, Sonic is no stranger to this strategy. For the majority of the series' lifetime, Sonic teams have been finding small but meaningful ways to make their games worth the immediate purchase. And today I want to take time to go through them. The good, the bad, the why did you make this? Before we get started, let's make it clear what we're talking about here. This is in reference to pre-orders only. I'm not going to include separate collections for a slightly increased price or any of that. So you're not going to see stuff like the Generations collection or special collection of Sonic X Shadow Generations. None of that. Only items that you get for free with the purchase of your silly little game. With that out of the way, where do we start? What insane goodies do we get packaged with our games first? Is that plastic? Right from its announcement, Sonic Boom was met with backlash. Straight off the heels of Lost World's mixed reception, where they changed the formula for seemingly no reason, they were changing it yet again. Sports tape, steroids, blue arms, steroids, more steroids, steroids. I'm sensing a theme. So with team morale already down before the game even launched, they needed a good way to incentivize people to drop their hard-earned money on this thing. And how did they do that? Glow sticks. You got glow sticks. If you were fortunate enough to pre-order Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric on Amazon in the year of our Lord 2014, you receive special skins to use in-game. These skins are, as you can see, just the default models with seemingly random parts dipped in radioactive material. I ain't even gonna research this, but I guarantee you barely anyone used these. Hardly anyone even bought the game in the first place. But despite the fumbles they often have and will continue to have, Sega isn't stupid. Clearly no one's gonna jump at some garbage skins. They gotta make something that'll get kids eager to steal mom's credit card. And that they did. Toy sales helped keep the money flowing at this point, no matter how off the games were. And keeping this in mind, Sega funneled loads of money into toy production. I'm sure you've seen this picture thrown around. Well, that's how set they were on getting this spin-off to be a mainstay. Masks, plushies, posters, they were doing whatever it took to get the ball rolling. It was almost impossible to find regular Sonic merch at this time. Back when I was a wee little lad, my grandma mistakenly got me this launchable Sonic figure for my birthday. What a devastation that was. With all that in mind, it should come as no surprise that the physical pre-order bonus was plastic. If you were to pre-order the physical version of Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric through GameStop, you would also receive this exclusive Sonic Boom action figure free of charge. What's the difference between this one and any other figure you got at Toys R Us? It has a crystal, guys. This ultimately did not help sales, leading the entire Sonic Boom concept to fade away in embarrassment. However, they were kinda cooking with this concept. Think about it, you're playing your favorite Wii U game, Nintendo Land, when mom says it's time to turn off games and go play outside. Now you have a figure to go play with, use your imagination. Honestly, an interesting concept I wish more games attempted. However, they haven't done it since, most likely trying to stay far away from Boom's footsteps. I can't blame them, I guess. It's not exactly a legacy to be proud of. Gotta admit though, it melts nicely. Speaking of bad legacies, Sonic 06 is bad, yada yada, whatever. If you haven't made fun of this game yet, you're lying. And if you aren't lying, yes, you are. But through all the highs and lows, Sonic Team managed to have one of my favorite pre-order bonuses. Just had to be the worst game, you sly dogs. In North America, if you were to get this game early, you'd also receive a 15th anniversary mini statue. Basically a replica of the statue from the Sega US office. Here the one I have is still sealed in its bag. Basically new. However, in other countries, this wasn't a pre-order bonus, instead being available later through Sega's direct ordering service. And they got a box. Those greedy frauds. The statue is decently crafted, although there's a few mistakes with the paint. Not much to complain about though, this was basically free after all. Not for me, I still had to pay a good amount, although not as much as you would have to nowadays. Mother Hubbard. That's about all I really have to say about it. It's a solid pre-order. I probably would have liked it more than the action figure, to be honest. We'll never know for sure because I was 2 at the time, but whatever. Surely the video only goes up from here. What's next? Frickin' paper! Sonic Forces was hyped to the moon. It really didn't need any incentive. People were eager to buy this after the revival of Modern Sonic. When Boom released, there were literal years where we were terrified Modern Sonic was gone. So seeing him back in action in a boost game, no less, gave hope to the masses. Boy, did those cheapskates take advantage of that. The Sonic Forces Bonus Edition. While not technically a pre-order, multiple sources consider it one, so I'm counting it here. For eagerly wanting to get the game early and paying full price, you'd be rewarded some in-game Skins. Man, they really didn't learn for Boom. But not only that, you'd be given a controller skin. Literally just a set of stickers to slap on and ruin, decorate your controller. I used mine back in the day, but then I realized I had some dignity and promptly threw it away. Forces really knows how to let you down. Years of waiting for his triumphant return, and this is how we're rewarded. I feel bad for people who got this at launch. I really do. Did I get it at launch? I was excited, but I was also a stupid child. I didn't pre-order this thing. So how did I get this version? eBay? A friend's old copy? Nah, my dad got this for me 5 months later at Walmart. You know it's bad when a pre-order is still at Walmart 5 months later. Speaking of, this one is yet another case where I didn't consider it a pre-order bonus for the longest time because I always saw it in stores months after launch. However, everywhere I look, it says it counts. Let's say you pick this bad boy up, pre-order or not. Well, then your game would come with a holographic sleeve alongside an option for reversible cover art, free Encore DLC, and a free art book. The Mania art book is a beautiful free addition for the fans. Pages full of charming doodles, concept art, literal frames of title screen animation, model sheets. It's everything I wanted as a young artist. Is it as good as the action figure or mini statue? Well, that's subjective. As a kid, I would have 100% taken the art book. But as we've established, I'm stupid. Overall, a solid pre-order. I sure hope they use this concept again. Never mind. Sonic Origins release still confuses me. The pre-order guide made absolutely no sense, and it was a strictly digital game at the time anyway, so who cared? Well, when they finally decided to get their act together and launched Sonic Origins Plus a year later, they followed in Mania's footsteps for the physical release. Almost. Where is my hollow cover? If Sonic Mania is roadkill, Origins is what's left when the buzzards are done with it. That was a horrible analogy. They followed word for word here. Reversible cover, bonus character, and perhaps most disappointingly, an art book. But I thought you loved the art book. What's the difference here? Soul. Mania was a celebration of Sonic, and that showed through every aspect of the game's release, especially with things like the art book. The care and personality is felt on every page despite the cheap material it's printed on. What's Origins have? Hey, I saw that one on Google. Nearly every piece of art here is reused from somewhere else, and the interesting unique art that could be the center of attention is used as a footnote. Why? I already know Eggman is a silly president in pajamas. Let me see Amy being goofy. I need something to make me feel better. Oh my gosh, Sonic Colors, hi! Well, nothing crazy. If you pre-ordered Sonic Colors from GameStop back in 2010, then you'd receive a Sonic Will hat. I remember seeing so many people back then with this hat, especially in Sonic reviews. That Some Call Me Johnny video really brings me back. Now, this isn't the actual hat from the pre-order. Rather, it's an official replica made readily available on Amazon. I actually couldn't find the real pre-order hat no matter how much I looked. Like, literally nobody is selling them. But with all that said, this is a really cool concept, even if it's a little random. Although we have to remember, back then, Sonic Unleashed hadn't helped the franchise reputation, so Colors had a lot of work to do. They were eager to make people look like Sonic fans. Okay. I guess this is one way to go about it. But this was over a decade ago. Sonic Team doesn't need to prove themselves now, so re-releasing the game so many years later will give them a chance to show us what they're made of. Garbage! The digital version of Ultimate came with exclusive digital cosmetics that, don't worry, aren't actually exclusive, but the physical version also came with digital garbage that no one asked for. But don't worry, as a bonus, you also got a keychain that, guess what, no one asked for! At least it melts nicely. In the end, Colors Ultimate's pre-order felt like confusion mixed with trying to get rid of old movie merch bulk. No heart or care was involved here, but at least we got something. Isn't that right, Superstars? For pre-ordering Sonic Superstars, you'd be gifted a code to use Lego Eggman in-game, a reversible cover, and a cute little acrylic stand. Only one small issue. Most people didn't even get the thing! I specifically ordered through GameStop to get this stand, only for it not to arrive. Later, I then found out that this was a widespread issue. Many people just straight up didn't get the bonus as promised. You had one job! I could go on eBay and get one right now. Not like it's expensive or anything, but this was supposed to be free. I ain't gonna pay for something that's free. Shut up. The next entry isn't anything crazy, but at least I got the thing, unlike Superstars. Sonic Frontiers gave lots of digital goodies for pre-ordering. Thanks, I love playing the game less. But along with that, Sega's finally gone down the classic gaming route and given us a steel book. I like this, it gives you something physical to show off. The art looks nice, and it's real solid quality. I like to think they did this to help boost Sonic back into the mainstream. Steel books are such a common pre-order item that they were probably just hoping to follow suit. And I mean, if so, it worked. Frontiers really brought Sonic back into the mainstream audiences, which really helps for this next entry. Man, I wish I knew how to build an anthropomorphic hedgehog. Sonic X Shadow is bursting with content no matter what version you got. But if you pre-ordered the game, you got skins, a digital art book and OST, a movie pack, and if you got the physical version, a reversible cover, and Greg Heffley's Diary. My copy is still sealed. I own this game digitally too, so I ain't gonna ruin a perfectly sealed copy if I don't need to. But that being said, this is an insanely creative pre-order. Page after page is creatively put together as a love letter to fans who care about this stuff. This is the type of stuff that they should have been doing instead of dinky little keychains. And if you want to keep your journal sealed like me, the pages can be collected and viewed in-game. Such a cool idea. Personally, I'd love to see more stuff like this. I love the concept of little things like the mini statue, but making deep cuts of the franchise into little bonuses is so much fun. This is such a cool pre-order, I would have absolutely recommended you. Now, I got one more pre-order that I want to give attention to, but first we'll go through some honorable mentions that I discovered late and either didn't want to get or I'm too poor to. Shadow the Hedgehog. If you were unfortunate enough to get this tumor early, then you'd be compensated for your pain with a beanie. Thank goodness I can get lice with my arthritis. And for $400, what a steal! Sonic and the Secret Rings. Apparently, if you were to pre-order Secret Rings, then you'd also receive this Sonic wrist sweatband. Interesting way for Sega to tell Sonic fans to work out. Could have bought this, but I'm gonna be real, I ain't spending $20 on a Sonic sweatband. Sonic Lost World. I don't even gotta say anything, this is hilarious. And finally, Sonic and the Black Knight. Take this one with a huge pile of salt, because I could barely find any source for this, and there is literally none being sold. But supposedly, allegedly, if you were to pre-order Sonic and the Black Knight in Australia, then you'd be one of the very lucky few to receive the Black Knight Combat Pack. This is very similar to the fan favorite Legendary Pack, although it was smaller and free. This item is extremely rare, if it even exists. Very interesting to look into. This topic has been pretty fun to research. With those out of the way, we made it to our final item. What? Okay, I know I'm kind of breaking my own rules here. This isn't a pre-order, it's a collection. So why would I be including this, but not things like the Sonic Colors Ultimate Japanese collection? Well, there's a pretty simple reason. This isn't a normal collection. The 10th anniversary Sonic birthday pack was released mainly in Japan, with a dumbed down version released later on in the UK. This special pack was only available for 2 days, June 23rd and 24th, 2001, afterwards never being seen again. You'd think that would make it more valuable and expensive back then, but no. The collection with all the goodies included here retailed for the same price as SA2 alone, 5,800 yen, or $38.75 in USD. Wouldn't that be insane to experience? I'd kill to have something like this nowadays. Whoops, already did. Imagine walking into the shop to buy a new Sonic game you've heard good things about, only to get this extra cool collectible version for the same price. That's why I'm including it here. Pre-orders should be like this. People would go crazy for it. So if you were lucky enough to purchase this way back then, what would you get out of it? Well, besides this cool box to display, you get a full copy of Sonic Adventure 2 and a 10th anniversary display case. In this case, you get a very cool book going over STI's vision for the story of Sonic, a gold CD containing top hits from Sonic games so far, and finally, a gold medallion showing off Sonic's birthday. This is such a cool concept, and I wish they'd done it more. They very nearly did with Sonic Colors Ultimate, but it wasn't a limited time, and they jacked up the price quite a bit. A very poetic way to demonstrate how times have changed. Well, those are the major pre-order bonuses I could find through all my digging. Let me know if there's any I missed. I'd be interested to look into it. Sorry if I sounded a little off in this video. I think I'm sick as a recording. Anyway, I got stuff to look through here, so hopefully I find something fitting for all my loved ones. Or I could just melt it all.
No ice, I'm just cold.